Let me just start by saying I love Doom Guy. I'm his biggest fan. I've played all of his games. Except the ones that are older than me. I haven't played any of the 4 Doom 3 games, or Doom Resurrection, not to be confused with Doom Resurrection of Evil, or the Doom RPGs. What the f***, why do these exist? Anyways, I've got almost 200 hours in that new and let me be the first to say those are some certified heaters. People flocked to Doom 2016 because it was familiar, yet new, and exciting. And as far as I'm concerned, that game was the catalyst for this wave of boomer shooters that have flooded the market in recent years. Though id's eyes may have been bigger than their stomachs as they tried to jam-pack as much as possible into Doom. The campaign was phenomenal. Arcade mode was a dopaminergic blast. Snap map was a fun addition too. But nobody talks about the arena PvP mode. Maybe that's for good reason, but I wish it wasn't the case. Not because I have many fond memories of the tacked on game mode, but because it feels as if id's been scared off from trying to create a high-octane and intense arena PvP experience. Probably because they have been for a long while now. Doom's multiplayer wasn't even made by id. They partnered with Certain Affinity to get that done. And they have an interesting track record. Like, yeah, they made Age of Booty, but I'm pretty sure these games are regarded as some of the worst, or at the very least most controversial in their respective franchises. Does it really surprise you that the people who added sprinting to Halo thought it would be cool to have Doom Guy hit the whip and Nene? But don't ask me, I only play real shooters. I only use my controller to drive and dodge roll because I'm not a freak. Anyway, it feels like their time to experiment and take risks has passed, now that they have discovered a formula that lends itself well to their bottom line. Doom Eternal released on March 20th, 2020, to critical and monetary acclaim, selling 3 times as many copies as its predecessor. It refined on the Doom reboot in every conceivable way, and amped things up to 1,000,000. The speed is up, the scale is up, the power level is off the goddamn charts. They gave him 2 dashes and gymnastics proficiency. You can clear an entire room without even touching the ground. Obviously they had to bring back the air strafe rune too. Side note, I don't think my little heart can take it if I can't air strafe in the Dark Ages. It gave fans everything they could have asked for, except in arcade mode, but they get a pass for this because the whole game makes my brain feel like a pinball machine. Snap map was cut as well, but on August 8th of 2024, there was actually an update posted which allows players to opt in for the Doom Eternal and id Studio beta. More importantly though, they forgot the ointment to help with the rash caused by 2 decades without a main entry into the Quake franchise.
Does this look infected to you?
Please, it's starting to bleed! Some of you may be wondering, if I was too young to play the OG Doom games, why would I give a shit about Quake?
Bro, you're 23. Why are you pretending to like Quake?
Listen, I was part of the lost generation, okay? You might not get it.
Go back to playing hero shooters. Go back to playing Fistful of Frags where you belong.
But when I was 9, I played my first Quake game. Quake 4. And that shit kinda fucked me up, not gonna lie. But also, it was okay, I guess. That doesn't really matter. Just listen to me. I just need to play a modern Quake game just to see if it bangs. I know it could. But id, I don't know if it got it like that though. I don't think they do. Id just knows they can make a Doom game. They can make a Doom game so goddamn good you'll buy it twice. Listen, all this to say, take a risk. It's simple, really. Step 1, recognize demand. Step 2, supply demand. Step 3, profit. But what do you do when the supply starts to outweigh the demand? You innovate. Remember, this video isn't a hit piece, the game isn't even out, and there's barely 2 minutes of footage to look at. It's more like a love letter to variety and a forgotten legacy.
Oh, they added a grappling hook? Mid!
I know there's always going to be someone with something negative to say.
Oh, you can throw the chainsaw shield now like Captain America? Mid and gay!
But constructive criticism is how we improve and evolve. I'm saying to take a risk by doing something you did over 20 years ago, still before I was born by the way, I'm saying you bring back the old swag with some new shoe shine. And for Christ's sakes, no, that doesn't mean make it a hero shooter. The kids will love it. Look at how they're dressing now, I'm telling you they'll love it. You don't think there's a phenotype of a 14-year-old cracked out on prescription amphetamines rinsing 9-year-olds on Fortnite right now? Cranking 90s like nobody's business? You don't think one of these motherfuckers would relish spanking an 80s millennial? Online we refer to these people as boomers. On a new Quake game? This kid's on his PC wearing a tank top, thrifted dad jeans, and the Bread Jordan 5s he got for his birthday. And every time he makes some old head slam his desk and wake up his daughter, the kid gets plus 10 aura. He's an unstoppable force who only utilizes his Wi-Fi connection to spread chaos and entropy. Listen, the kids will love it, I'm telling you. You bait the millennials into giving you $70 for a goated campaign we know you can make. It's basically the same shit, but instead of killing demons, you're just killing Strogg. And if you don't know what the fuck a Strogg is because you're not 40, allow Loremaster Screw to deluge facts and knowledge real quick. The Strogg are a warmongering cybernetic alien race that need to harvest biological components for their own augmentation and for the sake of strengthening their military. There's actually a scene in Quake 4 where the protagonist Matthew Kane gets captured and goes through the Stroggification process. This traumatized me greatly as a young boy. The Strogg harvest the flesh of slain enemies to create a tasty high-protein viscous fluid known as stroyant. No, not soylent, stroyant. It's much cooler because it's made of people. And there are so many classic Strogg characters that would be fascinating to see with modern graphics. Like their leader, the Macron. Doesn't he look intimidating? You also got the Berserker. I wouldn't want to mess with this guy. Then you got your standard ground troops. You got this guy who looks like a Lego. Who else? Dog. Can't forget about the dentist. Or Philip. He's the strongest of them all because he's made out of guns. You just need to have Doom Guy pop in through a portal or some shit so you can put him in the marketing and all the 33-year-old dorks will go fucking crazy, I'm telling you. That's the easy part done. That keeps you profitable. Now for the hard part. Classic Quake multiplayer. Scary, I know. A simple to look at, yet extremely difficult to master, high-octane, intense arena PvP experience. Just make sure it runs well enough on older hardware because everyone will be playing on the lowest settings anyway. You let them play this part of the game for free, hyped to hell, and launched after the initial game, and you rake in fat stacks of cash from selling people loot boxes that might contain a rare and special item. Now, I'm not really a big fan of gambling, but you gotta get that money, right, Marty? But are you really gonna be able to keep the heart of this franchise beating without the man who helped spark the defib in the first place? Now, if you want the full story behind the mistreatment of Mick Gordon, there's a great video by Mild Conviction going over the whole situation. Highly recommend. Alright, now back to milking the consumer for all their goddamn worth. You can avoid player skins initially until people become accustomed to the skins they can see in first person, and once they stop complaining about gambling and monetization that's not even pay to win, you can double down with new shit that lets people customize their avatar. Just make sure to say the words competitive integrity 30 times in the announcement video, and it should go over well enough. Sporadically release new collections, let people customize their weapons in a way that's also monetizable, allow people to flex on others and show off their virtual swag. The real juice comes when you have players making money off these items, but maybe that's a story for another day. All this to say, realistically, is it ever going to make a modern god-tier competitive arena shooter with live service monetization to help keep it alive and thriving? No, probably not, but let me dream. Is Doom the Dark Ages the series' boldest reinvention yet? No, IGN, I don't think so. They did add a parry though, and that shit's hard. But from what little info we have on Doom the Dark Ages, it sounds and looks like a more console-friendly shooter that appeals to the power fantasy more than the speed fantasy. Let me reiterate that I think the game will be good, and I plan on beating it, but this isn't the most exciting direction it could go. It's a blast every time I play Doom, but I'm left wondering what it would be like to experience these arenas with and against other people. Am I crazy for wanting to play an esport that doesn't look like this? Or God forbid this? I can't be alone here. Like, is Quake just not appealing to the masses, or has it not been given the love it deserves? Quake Champions isn't doing the franchise any favors. Also, y'all need to let the man Rafa get the shine he deserves in a game people actually play before he gets shipped off to the retirement home. In summary, I think you can accomplish the same game feel with Quake, and it would be super exciting to see it fully revived. But unlike Doom, a single-player focused Quake revival would be disappointing to say the least. Even as someone who's stuck on the outside looking in, I think the Quake franchise deserves better than to be stuck in limbo, not even knowing who his dad is. Is it id? Bethesda? Microsoft? Who knows? I know I'm probably early with the sentiment, but maybe by the time we make it to Doom 4, 2, there will be others echoing the same opinions. In that case, when the time comes,
don't forget who started this shit.
Anyway guys, just remember, you don't always have to shred it this way. Sometimes you can shred it that way, and that's okay. Thanks for watching.